Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali and in the previous tutorial we have worked on the profile activity and we allow user to send friend requests to each other and to accept the friend request and cancel friend request. Now after that the next thing is to work on the notifications where basically we will retrieve all the requests that someone sent, that let's say user has sent to user B. So user B will see that I have sent, that the user B received a friend request from user A, and user A when come to the notification, then user A will see that I have sent a friend request to user B. Hope you understand this. I mean both the sent request and the received request. Both in both cases, user A will see that I sent the request. User B will see that I received a request from user A. So hope you understand that. Now the next thing is here you can see we have our this find friend design. And if we go to the notifications activity.java file, then we have already write these all of these controllers, or you can say these text field buttons, etc. Text view, relative layout, image view, which is basically this. Okay, you can identify it from their name also, which we already done in the previous tutorial. Now the next important thing is to use a Firebase recycler adapter. So we have to connect our this layout specifically, which is find friend design, to our this notification Java file, or you can say also just to display all the request here on the recycler view of our notification activity. So for that, first of all, what we need to do is here we can say create onStart method, and inside this now, instead of typing, just for the time saving, go to the profile activity, and okay, not here, go to the find people activity, and from here we will just copy paste the code, and then we will change it according to our notification. So copy these options, the Firebase recycler options, come here to the notification activity, and then paste that here. So we can initialize this. The type of this is Firebase recycler options. Okay, and now make sure to change this. Here we need to create a reference to our find friends. So for that, let's go to the profile activity and let's just copy paste this find friend request reference. Also we will be needing the contacts, so copy both of these. Control C, go back to notification, and inside our on create we can just paste that. So copy it, Control C, then come back and just paste it here. Also we will be needing a reference to the user's node, so let's create that also quickly. So we can just copy paste and then change this context to user reference, and instead of this contacts we can say users. Now the next thing is that here we can set our query, so pass the friend request reference. Now how it will work, if you go to the database, here you can see we have a friend requests node. Okay, inside this friend request node, this is the ID of a user. Okay, if I show you, then this user is whose name is Muhammad Ali Share. Okay, now this user has a request and the request type is received, so it means that this user now received one request. Let's say other users send request to this same person whose name is Muhammad Ali Share. Let's say there are three more nodes. Okay, so it means that this user received four requests from different people. Okay, and the request type for that is received. Okay, so this is for the receiver. Now the same is for the other one. So if here you can see this user whose ID is at F. If you see it, then this is Muhammad Ali. Then Muhammad Ali received one request and sent. The request type is sent. It means that at F, whose name is Muhammad Ali, he sent a friend request to one person and the ID is CKOZ. Okay, so he will see in a notification fragment notification activity that I have sent a friend request to this person, So I mean, we have now to make a reference to that. So first of all, what we need to do is we have a reference, and then we are going to search for the online user. I mean, we have to get the online user ID. Let's say if this is my online user ID, which is CK or Z, so I have to create a reference to this, that is friend request dot child online user ID or current user ID. So we have to get that. So for that we can say dot child, and to get the current ID, what we need to do is just copy paste these. So you can just add that quickly. Instead of the sender, we can say online or current user ID. Okay, that is the user who is online. So we have to search for that user, that is how much request he received and how much request he sent to someone. Okay, or she, I mean, if she is a girl, then maybe she received or she sent. So anyways, I mean, where it is here, let's just copy paste this for the time saving. So current user ID, and the rest of the thing is same. So yeah, now come down here, and here we can say dot child current user ID. So friend request node dot child current user ID. So now we are checking, that is friend request node dot child. Let's say this is the ID of that online user, which is CK. So it will now check how much request is received. So let's say we have one request, and then it will check the request type, which is received. So this CK person received a friend request from this person. Okay, and let's say there will be many other nodes. If you want to send or receive, you can create other accounts for the testing purposes. And let's say uh, under this node there will be another child, I mean another user, and the request type, let's say for that, is sent. Okay, so this person will now have two requests, which is one is the received request and the other was sent. So I hope you understand the whole scenario. I mean, it is quite simple. Anyways, you will understand more clearly further. I mean, when we at the end, when we run the application, or we can say and test the application. So Firebase recycler adapter, it needs two parameter. One is the model class context, the other one is our static class, inner class, which contains our controllers. And let's give it name as Firebase recycler adapter equals to new Firebase recycler adapter. Alongside with it, these two methods are created. Make sure to put a semicolon here first. And first of all, the important thing is to connect our this design, which is find friend, to this notification activity.java file. So for that, what I'm going to do, let's just come here to the find people activity. For the time saving, let's just copy paste this here, and instead of here, you can see we have view group and the it is parent. Okay, so copy it, and instead of this p, sure to write this, that is parent dot get text get context. And also make sure to write here instead of p parent, which is our view group object. And also the next thing is to remove this find people activity dot find friends view holder, remove this. Okay, and we have our inner class by the name notification view holder, because our notification view holder contains the design for it. Okay, so also remove this one and replace it with notification view holder, and then we pass this view holder to our notification view holder, and make sure to change the contact design to our find friend design, because these things are here defined on our find friend design. We are using this design this time for our notification activity. So that's it. I mean, that is okay. Now make sure to pass here options, which is our Firebase recycler options, or you can say our query. Let's first set our recycler view. What is the name of it? I mean, where notification list, because then I forgot to add adapter to it. That's why let's set the adapter to it quickly, and then we can write the code for displaying our data. It is by the name Firebase recycler adapter. and then Firebase recycler adapter dot start listening. So in our on bind view holder, we have to, now here what we need to do is, first of all, go to the find friend design, because if the request type is sent, then for that notification, or you can say we do not want to show these two buttons for that. Okay, so let's just set the visibility by default for it to gone, the same for the upper button to gone. Okay, let's close this now and come to the notification activity. Now here we have to say, let's change the name of notification holder object to holder short name. Then we can say holder dot accept button. It is not like this. You have to say item view dot, have we connect the accept button, request accept, request decline. Okay, we have already said that, so instead of this we can just say holder dot accept button dot set visibility to visible. The same for the cancel button, it will be visible. It is by the name cancel button. Now there will be lot of notifications that we, let's say if a user received, I mean irrespective that is whether the request type is sent or received, there will be different notifications. So when a user click on any item, every item carries his own unique ID. Okay, so in order to get that, let's create a variable for that, final string. Let's give name to it as list user ID equals get ref, and by using this position, which is I was this dot get key. Now we have to check the request type, whether the request that a user received is sent, request type is sent or received for it. Okay, and the basis of which we will display our design. So we have to say database reference, and let's give name to it as a request type reference equals to get reference position, which is denoted by I variable. Okay, here you can see it, and then dot child, and it is by the name request underscore type. So we have to get the value, sorry, we have to get the reference of it, get reference, and we are storing it inside our this request type reference, which if I show you, then we are basically referencing to this. So we get the reference to it, okay, which is our request type, and now on the basis of which we have to retrieve at real time. So we can say request type reference dot head value event listener, new value event listener. Make sure to put a semicolon here first, and then inside this on data change we can say that if data snapshot dot exist, which means if it contains any data, I mean if it has any request, then we have to get the value of the request type. Okay, so string, and then we can give name to it as type equals to data snapshot dot get value dot to string. So it will get the type, I mean the value of the request type, either it will be sent or received, on the basis of which we can make, I mean we can display our request. So we can say now if type dot equals to received, then how we want to display our find friends design. In that case, if the request is received, then we will display alongside with these two buttons, which is the accept and cancel request button. But if the request type is sent, which we can write the code in the else, then for that we will just display like the design will be like just like this. Okay, so or if you want, there is no need to display the request sent for a user. Just like in Facebook, we only see the request that someone sent to us. Which make a sense a lot. But if you want, then you can tell me in the comment section down below. We will write the code for it inside this else statement. But for now, what we need to do is to make the we do not want to display the sent request. Okay, only the received request that we received from different people. Okay, let's just display only the received request that an user received from different user. Okay, but if you want, let me know in the comment section down below. We will make a separate video for that, where we will display the send request notifications also. So yeah, let's just make this holder, and we have our this whole relative layout. If I show you, which we give, the name card view, and it is by name card view. Let's just go to the find friend. Here have to see this one, card view. Okay, so we have to make this make the visibility of this to gone if if the request type is sent. Okay, which we already explained in the sorry which we already explained here. In the else statement we have write the code for it. So we can say that holder dot card view dot set visibility. But as I told you, if you want to display the sent request also for a user, then let me know in the comment section down below. We will just display those requests also here. Okay, but for now let's just go for the request. If the request type is received, that is, let's say 5 people sent me a friend request, then I will see a notification like in this design, which I show you guys alongside with the accept button and the decline button. Okay, the visibility which we already, by writing this code, we have made these buttons visible. You will see it when you test the application. Now here we have to make sure that the card view is visible for the received request. So just copy that code and write here. We can say visible, and then by using our user reference, we have to retrieve the user data. So we can say dot add value and listener, new value, and listener. Make sure to put a semicolon here, and we have a ID of that item, with the help of which list user ID, which contains the ID of a user, the item ID, or you can say which is specifically the user ID. Okay, CK. If you come here, CK is Mohammed Ali Share. Same is for ATF. So on the basis of these keys, we can display the picture of the user. So list user ID. So we can say here that user reference dot child and pass the list user ID to it. And now on the basis of this, inside our own data change, we can say if data snapshot dot has child, and the child will be image. So if the image exists for the specific user, then we have to retrieve and display that image. So we can say final string image. Let's make it different. Let us give it name as image str, means image string. Data snapshot dot child, and the child is by the name image. Side the user is not okay. You can check, and dot get value dot string. Now the same thing we will do for getting the name. So this will be our name str, image, and then name, and it is stored here. Now we have to display the image, so we can say holder dot by using the Picasso library, we can say Picasso dot get dot load and we have to load our image str dot into our image view. What is the name of it? We have to check. It is by the name profile image view. So pass the profile image view to it. Okay, sorry, I mean holder dot profile image view. That's it. And then we have to display the name. So holder dot username text dot set text to name str. That's it. Now the next step is to, when a user click on the accept button and when a user click on the cancel button, then what we want to do for that? Well, it is so simple. Also, let's write a condition. If the image do not exist and the user set only the username, then we will display in that case only the name of that user. So for that, what we want to do is, let's copy the name str, copy it, paste it here, and then just like this. And after this else statement, we can say that holder dot accept button dot set on click listener. By the way, we repeat these two lines of code. Let me tell you. New on click listener. If we user click on the accept button, then what we want to do, we just want to accept the friend request and make the request, make that person to the contacts. Okay, to save that context basically, and to remove the friend request from the friend request node. But before moving to that, I mean, here we just wrote these two things. We repeat these two line of code instead of the else statement. What we want to do is cut this. I mean, there is no need for this else statement. If the image do not exist, then the name will definitely exist because the user must set the name, otherwise the app will crash in that case. So name, remove this from here. Okay, so if the image exists, only then we are displaying the image, otherwise we retrieve the name and then we set the name also. I mean, set the name. If the image exists, then it will display the image plus the username. But if the image do not exist, it will skip this and it will then retrieve the name and display the name here on our username text. So this is the accept button, and for this what we're gonna do is, I mean, to accept different requests, we need to just go to the profile activity. We already wrote that code. I mean, create a separate function for that, which is our accept friend request, this method. Just copy this whole complete function, I mean this whole method, copy it, and then let's first paste this whole function at the bottom. Just paste that here. Now we have to do something here. Now that is basically, now the send user ID, we know that in this page we have create a current user ID, which means the sender, basically the online user, and the receiver user ID we are getting by the list user ID, I think. Let me just check this first. We have this, yeah, this list user ID. What we want to do now, copy this, okay, and remove this final string. Let's initialize it from the top. Okay, initialize it with null. Final string list user ID, and then the next thing is come down to the method, and here we can say now list user ID. The same thing is for the receiver, we have the list user ID. For the sender, we have the current user ID. And then once the contact is saved for the sender and for the receiver, we have to cancel the friend request. Okay, I mean, we have to delete that node from the friend request because both are now added to each other contact list. So instead of sender we have the current user id, which is the sender, and the receiver id here is list user id. List user id, make sure to do the same changes. Okay, do not mix anything here. Current user id, and there is no need for these things, so just remove this. If you want, you can just display a toast message to the user that is contact saved successfully. Contact saved, or more specific message will be new contact saved. So this is our uh, I mean accept button. We have to call this method for that. Now the next thing is, if a user cancel, press the cancel button, then for that we have a method that we already created, which is cancel friend request. So copy this, come back to the notification activity, and just paste that here. So sender is our current user id, receiver is our list, we are getting it from the list user id. This is our current user id, list user id, toast. We can say friend request cancelled. So now let's just come back here, and here we can say that if the user click on the accept, then we have to call our accept friend request method. And if the user, let's just guess this, if the user click on the cancel button, we have to call our cancel friend request button, sorry, cancel friend request method. Now let's just test the application. Okay, we have this error. Oh, sorry, cannot initialize this with final. Let's say private string list user id. Okay, so let's just test the application now. The app is running now successfully, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the contacts. Okay, because we have to test it, and also the friend request node. Okay, now we have only these three users, so I'm going to log in from these two accounts, and I'm going to send a friend request to this person, this third person, whose name is John Parker. So I'm going to, just for the testing purposes, because you have to log in using real phone, and since I have only one phone with two sims, the one account I created by my brother phone, using my brother phone. So that's why I deleted the node. But anyways, if you have your friends, then create account using their phone numbers, maybe 6-7 accounts for the testing purposes. So I'm now going to quickly log in from Muhammad Ali account and Muhammad Ali share, and then I will also show you from here. Okay, first let me do that. So here now I am logged in. As if I show you Muhammad Ali account, here you can see it. Now let's just go to the here, and I'm going to send request to John Parker. So let's just click on add friend, and friend request sent. If I show you the database, then here you can see the request is added. Now I'm going to log out from this account, and now I'm going to log in as the other account. Now I have to show to you guys. Now you can see I'm logged in as Muhammad Ali Share, and now let's just come here and send request to John Parker. Okay, cancel friend request. The request is sent now. First let me show to you the database also. Now this ID OJOR, this one. Now this person has two requests. If we just see it, request type is received. Okay, so this person received first request from this account whose ID is @f, and then from this account whose ID is CK. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out again, and now logged in as John Parker, and then we will go to the notification page. So let me just do it quickly. So I am now logged in. If I show you John Parker, okay, now let's just go back and now let's click on the notifications button, and we receive two notifications, but here is one problem. I mean, the first one is from Muhammad Ali Share, if we here you can see it, and the second one is Sam. Now the reason behind this bug is our final list user ID. Now we have to fix that quickly. Come back here, and here we have this list user ID. Now one thing which we need to do here is that remove this private string from here and initialize this here, string list user ID. Make sure to, let's just make this final string, and here when we say accept friend request, one thing which we need to do is, we have to inside this accept friend request method, every time this list user ID variable, do not assign the fresh ID for each request. So cut this whole code from the accept friend request, okay, to here, control X, and what we need to do is accept, or just remove this accept friend request. Instead of this, paste that whole code here. The same we will do for the cancel. Okay, let's just comment out this so that we can see if it get, assign the fresh ID of it, list user ID, and paste it instead of cancel friend request method. Here you can see it. Let me just cancel it again and paste it in front of you guys. Okay, this whole code. Now let's just test the application. Now the reason with the previous error, or you can say the bug, is that list user ID we initialize at the top with null, and it just get the ID of each item one time, the first item here, and I do not add, or you can say, let's just test it now before telling, explaining everything. Let me tell you once more time, just quickly. Here at the, previously you can see that we initialized our list user ID here at the top with null. Okay, now the reason behind that was that our list user ID was not, every time when it comes here on bind view holder, it at real time it basically get the key of each item that display here, that it get from the database. Okay, it first get this ID and it display the pic, using this ID basically we are retrieving and displaying the user information here. Here you can see it. Okay, and then the second time it get this second ID, which is the this one, this user ID, on the basis of which we are again, it again use this inside this onboard view holder, it display the second request user information. Okay, now the reason was that we initialize it at the top and it do not update the key here inside our this list user ID. It just keep the ID, the first ID globally, or you can say the ID that it get at the end. This is the bug. Hope you understand this. If we now run the application, you already run it by the way, and now let's just test it. Now let's go to the notifications. Then here you can see now it is working fine. Okay, so hope you understand that bug. Now it get the ID of each one because we initialize it here, and now it will, let's say if we have 50 requests, if this user received 50 requests from other people, then it will every time it comes here, it will get the key and it will store it inside this, and let's say again if there is the second key, it will replace the previous old key with the new one, and on the basis of which we are retrieving that user picture and name, and we are displaying it here in our request node. Here you can see it. Now I'm going to accept one request from here, so I'm going to accept Muhammad Ali request. So let's click on accept friend request. Here you can see new contact saved. If I show you database, then here you can see it. Okay, and now the second one is I'm going to cancel it, the second one. So here you can see the second one got cancelled. So hope you, oh, I mean in front of you guys I do not show the cancel one, but anyways you can test it. I forgot to show you guys the screen. So yeah, that's it for this video. I mean, and in the next tutorial what we will be doing is that we will retrieve all the contacts, okay, and we will display it here on our this home page, and then after that we will finally allow a user, two friends, to make a video call to each other. So that's it for this video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.